It is the victory moment with CK. Join the show as we chat victory in the midst of the uncertainty in life, because each day can be a victory moment if you don't quit, if you don't give up, and if you don't let go. Well, hello there to everyone. Welcome to the victory moment with CK. I'm excited again as I've just been having some amazing guests, and tonight I'm just again excited to have another amazing guest. The BSN network is just showing up and showing out. Thank you again as the leader over the BSN network. Brian, this has been awesome, and how he's been connecting us and all of those things. Listen, and I am just amazed at being a part of the BHC Media Network. If you don't know, this is the network. This is the television show that is seen on the BHC network. So I am not going to take too long to start the show as we get ready to talk about as we get ready to talk about, let's talk about it, a clear journey. Let's talk about it on this episode of the uh of this episode of the show today, as we talk about a clear journey. Let's go. Today, my guest co-host is Juan Lee, and I am going to introduce him and bring him on because the time is far spent, and I'm just excited to bring him on today and connect with him. Listen, Juan is doing amazing things, and basically, let me do my little pick and intro here. My little pick and intro here as I bring on before I bring on Juan. Listen, listen. He is the a stab accomplished author. Let me put it like that. Inspirational speaker and dedicated teacher. Through his career, he endured his enduring commitment to others or serving others has been a definite characteristic. He is the visionary and visionary founder of Clear Journey Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting individuals in their quest for answers to life's complex challenges. Are you understanding and hearing what I'm saying? And what you're seeing on the screen is his book, which is Love Made Simple, one of the things that he's doing. And it is also an audio. Listen, we're going to talk more about you being able to get it, and we're going to share some information so that you can get it. But we want to welcome him to the stage right now. as we just shout out Juan Lee. Welcome, Juan Lee, to the stage and the victory moment with CK. Thank you for joining me once again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I know it's just going to be amazing as we talk about a clear journey. You know,
Thank,
share with the people, Juan, as we welcome you again, a little bit more about you and what you are about as far as you're serving. And that stuck with me because you made that clear that you are about serving, and I
well,
love.
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with the audience today. Yeah, service goes really far back with me. I at the age of 17, 18 years old, I enlisted in the military, and that really began to set my foundation for this journey, this clear journey that I'm on, or that I've been on, and now trying to share with others, the ability to be able to have a journey that we can really make very clear, so that we can be successful in all aspects of our life. But yeah, I joined the military at 18 years old. I spent 9 years in the military, and it was in there that I was able to put some things together, in a way in which I could begin to see life a little bit differently. And it was that vision that I gathered in the military that allowed me to get to where I am today. And as a result, having many different careers after leaving the military. But then in 2020, offering my book, Love Made Simple, which really is the foundation for the nonprofit Clear Journey, because it talks about the mindset required for us to be able to navigate life successfully in all areas of life, so that we might be able to reach our full potential in life. And so it's really about turning love into action so that we can navigate life more successfully.
I love that when you just said turning love into action. And that is so important. But I also did not mention that you are, and you have it right there, a mindset coach, which is very important because our mindset plays a lot in all that we do. And your attitude, the mindset, your progression, your mindset, and all of that plays a lot. That particular part, that part right there, as they would say, that part plays a
Hmm.
very important part in what and how we proceed and how we succeed. Because if you have a negative mindset, it's very hard to progress. And if everything that happens, you have a negative mindset, it's very hard to see the good in what is going on. And there's always, and I always say this, as much as we may not understand it at times, there's always good even in the things that we don't understand that happens that may be considered to us negative. And I was just sharing with you something about this weekend, and I had to look back and think, and when I thought about it, you know the person that assisted me became connected to me because of how we handled and I handled everything with the positivity and the right mindset and attitude, even though they know it was frustrating, and it was very frustrating, and stuff like that. So even as we're beginning, we're gonna flow right into it, sir, because um your nonprofit organization, and when you say clear journey, that just stuck to me because a lot of our journey is not clear because there are certain things that we are just not putting in perspective. And in order to have a clear journey, we have to put some things in perspective. And one of the things we're going to talk about, talk about, I'll let you start this off with talking a little bit about your thoughts when it comes to a clear journey. And then we're going to go into the first part of having a clear journey, as far as, one of the things that will help us having a clear journey to keep succeeding, keep winning, because this is what my show is about, you know, going forward and winning each day. That doesn't mean things are going to be perfect, but it's about winning because
Yeah,
you did not give up. Go
yeah.
ahead, sir.
Well, the bigger thing that we try to promote at Clear Journey is the ability to change or alter your perspective. Perspective gives you the beginning of how you will see any situation. And I think what we try to do is to give you an alternative to, as it relates to how you can look at any situation from a different perspective. We have a tendency that to have grown up in a particular way, and we have experienced things that what has allowed us to see things in a specific way. And so what we ultimately try to do, and that's the part of the mindset, is to change the way in which we perceive ourselves and others so that we can begin to interact in a way of understanding, appreciation, consideration. And it's from that perspective that we build relationships. We build relationships because we find ourselves having and seeing people's value rather than their differences, because what we're basically all about is connecting people together. And that's what we do at Clear Journey, is that we provide education and resources so that you might be able to get the education and have the resources so that you can reach whatever desired goals that you have in specific areas. And so that is why, we provided, we say a clear journey, because we don't want you to enter into a specific area. If we can get you prepared for life, rather than having to readjust or have to come out of something, you'll be in a better position. So not only can we help prepare you for your journey, but we also can help you, if you found yourself in a place or a situation where you need assistance, you need help. We're here also to help you through whatever journey, whatever situation that you're in currently also.
And that's so important because it's not just preparing, but your organization is also helping in the reference to what do you need assistance with. So not just preparing, because preparing is not so easy when there's not as easy when you have certain things that you need to deal with before you start preparing. That's all part of the preparation. So and this is part of what, as we were communicating when we did our our pre-communication, one of the things I was like, clear journey. And that just, like I said, it just stuck with me in the sense of, so we're going to talk about one, appreciating and not taking for granted the things and people you have. And I believe it is connecting with you saying, about you, like understanding basically who you are. And that's the number one part of a clear journey. Knowing what do you
Yeah,
really want. Knowing,
you're absolutely.
where do you really want to go? What do you really like to do?
Yeah,
And
the,
can I
the,
say this, and then I'm gonna let you chime in. You know, as as aunts, uncles, parents, and so forth, we tend to have a vision for our young people and our children. But we need to ask the question, what do you want it? What do you like to do? What is your, and don't feel a way because they say something that you're not expecting. you know, because a child wants to be a dancer, it's nothing wrong. That's their passion. If they want to be a dancer, and I'm just using it as an example, we should be supportive in any way. But when we're talking about that and what you do, how do what do what are your thoughts about appreciating and not taking anything for granted as far as people you have and what you have at that at the moment and things of that sort.
Well, I mean, you've asked some pretty involved questions because there are really two different perspective or two different parts of this journey. Um, but I guess you can all put them all together in the sense that, as it relates to being able to um, identify, what I like to share is your uniqueness, and that's different than purpose. It's your uniqueness, because uniqueness is you develop, you mature it, you develop it in a manner in which you're able to see it as your value added to humanity. And so that is something that I think what it really boils down to is not being compared to anyone else, but is your uniqueness. And it's in that uniqueness that you gain your fulfillment. And until many of us gain that or realize that, we really find ourselves chasing someone else's dreams. And so what you were talking about as being parents and aunts and uncles and relatives of our children, we have a tendency to try to not give that child that space to develop that originality, that uniqueness, that is innately theirs. And so we try to encourage everyone who's in this journey, on this challenge, or in this transition, whether you're midlife on in life, is that you find your uniqueness. That's the beginning stages. And regardless as to where you are in that process of this journey that we're on, we all have to be grateful. We need to have gratitude and be thankful for where we are, because it's at that point in time that we recognize that it's a building block. It's where we are right now. It doesn't mean that we have to remain. But one of the things, as I said, the subtitle of my book, Love Made Simple, it says it's the guide to inner peace, contentment, and success. And what I like to share with people is that, what does contentment mean? Is basically meaning that I'm secure in the space that I'm in while pursuing and growing, while I'm pursuing my potential.
Not meaning
Okay.
to stop you. I need you to say that one more time, and I need that to be highlighted, because I think that that is like number one of building, being successful, your journey, your clear journey. I think that's it in a sum up, and
Well,
I say that one more
well,
time, sir.
well, it's the ability to be content. It's to be content with who you are in the space that you're in, while you're pursuing your potential. And I think many of us, don't realize that it's okay to be where we are at the time where we're there. If we and it really depends, and it's really meant because we don't want to be comparing ourselves to someone else, because no one else's journey is going to be like ours. Every individual, we can have the same destination, but our journey getting there will be different. And so when we recognize that, we can glean from people because they can give us, some sort of directions or insight. But when it comes down to the steps that you're going to have to take, the journey that you're going to be on, it's going to be an original. That's the unique thing about being this human being, is that each one of us is an original, and we're unique. And so when we begin to um, journey, enter our journey, we have to know that and understand that, it's going to be, in some regards, very individualized, but we're using the advantages of others' experiences to help us in navigating it a little bit better.
And basically, as I flow right behind you, the individuality. And it doesn't mean that you don't, like take certain, certain things as far as how this person maneuvers and things of that sort to encourage you, but you are an individual. And one of the things I've always done is, if I see somebody else do something, most of the time, I don't want to do it the same way, because I realize that I want to be an individual. I want to be unique. I don't want to do everything everybody else is doing. That's just been me from a little girl. I didn't even realize until
Hmm.
I got maturer. I was like, wow, this is strong in me. So I'll literally go around a whole bush because not to do it like everybody else, and not to to copy anybody, because I want to stand out in what I do. And that's part
Hmm.
of, like you said, that journey, the individuality.
Hmm.
What do you bring to the table? We all have unique gifts and talents and things of that sort that will bring, that will turn this world upside down. But we all can't be the same. We're all not preachers. We're all not teachers. We're all, believe it or not, we're all not going to be billion and millionaires, because there's a different perspective you may need to reach, because everybody can't connect that way. But of quite obviously, and then there's some of us, yes, we are billionaires and millionaires, but we may not get there the same way like somebody else. You understand? And
Absolutely.
one of the things I've always remembered when Barack, our former president Barack Obama became president. And one of the things that constantly stuck with me, and he made it his, I think it was his, if I'm not mistaken, quite obviously his campaign slogan, "Yes, we can."
Hmm.
And that's the attitude that you have to have. That even though it may become a little difficult, yes, you can. And these are the things that you cannot, like I said, every day can be a victory moment. Because once you get a
That's what this
clear,
life is about.
and once you get a clear journey, nothing can stop you, because you appreciate and not taking anything for granted. And the people that are assigned to you, and I say assigned to you because even I laugh, because even in the Bible, when everybody was like, well, he was a traitor, Judas did that, but Judas had a purpose in Jesus' life. So even the people that may not always be the great, that you think be like, why are they a part of my, there's a purpose, because it's taking you and building you up, even though they may not even realize it, because now you're getting more sensitive to certain things, understanding certain things, understanding your own character of
Hmm.
forgiveness, of love, mercy, grace, and all of those things in one. So we're going to talk about taking the good out of the situations you may face, like taking from the things that we deal with daily, Like we was laughing, in the backstage when we said life. Life is
Hmm.
always gonna life. And like I said, it's how you respond and react to it.
I'll
And
tell
I
you.
was sharing this on my prior podcast with my other guests. It's either go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna piggyback to something that you said about what President Obama had talked about, and he also said in a lot of situations and incidents, he talked about a teachable moment. And teachable moments were those things
Oh,
that we could learn
yes, sir.
something from, even though they're uncomfortable. Even though they're uncomfortable, there's things that we can learn from them. Because again, we run into situations where if we don't learn from uncomfortable situations, they're destined to be repeated again. And so what we want to do is
Mm,
we want to be able to embrace those uncomfortable things so as to not have to experience them again. And therein lies the value of that uncomfortable experience of those things, and they can really begin to be very, you can be very thankful for them. You can appreciate whatever that thing. When you talked about purpose, there is nothing, not anything, there is no thing that exists that does not have a purpose. Nothing, not one thing that does not have a purpose. And see, we want to
everything.
isolate them as to the ones that look good, feel good, got purposes, but the ones that don't feel good and the ones that you don't like don't have purpose. They all have
Right.
purpose. Everything has purpose. And we really don't understand that until, and we suffer from that because then we're trying to maneuver to make our journey only the things that we like. And
Right.
that's not life. That's not life.
That is not life. Right. Mm-mm. Exactly. Exactly. So taking the good out of the situations is very important. Um, because it's for you, we always make this comment and it's always used. It's how you look at the glass. Do you look at the glass half empty or the glass half full? And these are the
Mhm.
things, that, you know, when it comes to a clear journey, you know, you have to make up your mind that as we go right into the other part of what I want to talk about, avoiding the pitfalls. And part of pitfalls is that we expect sometime that life should not do what it does.
Well,
I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but
well,
go
well.
ahead, sir.
Here's the thing as it relates to pitfalls, and I think in when you say pitfalls, the thing that comes to mind for me is that these are things that could be avoided. Okay. um
Mm,
if we can prepare ourselves, and that goes back to again the thing what we were talking about, there are parts of life that we can't prepare for. Okay. But then there are parts of life that we can prepare for them because they just they're not new, they're not something new.
not
These
at
are the
all.
things that we can prepare for. And I'll be honest with you, as you begin to develop and get to the point where you have the right mindset, then when you can appreciate those things that are uncomfortable, as well as those things that you are preparing for, so to avoid, see, then you
Mm,
have a total holistic way of being able to navigate life successfully, because now I'm preparing for those things that I can prepare for, and that's going to help me avoid those pitfalls. And then it keeps me in mind of a mindset of being able to appreciate those things that I can avoid, you know, and therein allow us to make this journey very fulfilling and to be very intentional when we're on the journey. And see, this is the thing that's about success. Success is intentional. It's intentional. And many of us, we have seen success look very unintentional. And
Mm,
unfortunately, those are the exceptions and not the rule. And so
absolutely.
and so we need to understand that for the rule, it's very intentional. And we need to understand that. And therein lies the mindset. We've got to have the right mindset to be able to be willing to do the work to prepare, and then be aware of and understand that everything that's going to happen is not going to necessarily be what we want it to be, but being able to navigate them in a way in which we can be successful on the other side of it.
Absolutely. Um, and one of the things, like you said, there are certain things that we cannot prepare for, and that stayed with me. And as I mature in life, I realize there are just some things you cannot prepare for. But there are things, like you said, that we just don't want to prepare for because it's uncomfortable. Certain things are uncomfortable. And certain things we're like, well, why we have to do it? Because that ain't gonna never happen to me. Or that's not gonna happen, and things of that sort. And quick story, and it's so funny. I worked all my life. You know, um, I've never owned a business until, recently, da 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 da, in these past years. And I worked all my life. And I never had any issue with my job and stuff like that as far as going to work and had to worry about getting injured on the job, any of those things. But my job that I had was working with the school system. And I went to work not expecting anything, to interfere with my regular duties, because I'm one of the things I've always done is told the young people, listen, I am here to protect you. I'm not here to harm you. So I understand you may not like certain things, but you should still respect it. And we tell you something, you may not like it, but respect it. And I just went through my day, and my day just flipped, because two students basically decided to confrontate or whatever, and I wind up in the middle of the confrontation. And when I got injured in the confrontation, this is part of what I share, and I'm going to share a little bit more in my book that's coming out. um I got injured, and I never expected that, as I'm moving about, because basically we worked as a team, yada yada yada, and we were never really by ourselves. And as you're talking, it shifted my life, and I had to come back to understanding, wow, I wasn't prepared for this. you know um and then I had to grab hold of myself to say, how do I move forward? Because now life has changed in what I know, and my comfortableness, because basically I was comfortable in what was going on, like you're talking about, because I did it all every day. I never expect this, and it's like, hmm. But then this is all part of how my show started. I had to realize, in order for me to keep, to keep succeeding, I had to keep going. I couldn't allow what happened to stop me from progressing. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about, taking the positive out of it. I became a part of, I became an entrepreneur. I became, I became a part of two projects as far as books. My own solo book is going to be coming out. Things of that sort. And I couldn't do certain things if I was still doing other things. And this
Absolutely.
is where I was talking about. Exactly. So I just shared that story briefly to let people know life is going to throw you curves. Life is going to throw you the unexpected, but it's up to you how you respond. Do you respond or you react? And I keep saying that because reacting is one thing, but responding with the right mindset and the attitude makes a difference. Makes a difference. So go ahead, sir. Yeah.
No,
So I
I'm
didn't.
absolutely. That's exactly what I share. I mean, you basically nutshell. You hit it on a nutshell. It's the attitude, the mindset that I refer to starts with the right attitudes, and so that's the gist of everything that we do is to establish that the right attitude because we believe that the attitude is the precursor to your outcome.
Exactly, and as we close out, the final thoughts that I want to talk about is not tolerating excuses within yourself. Because we always make excuses or have excuses. I should say, not make, but have excuses for everything when it comes to having a clear journey. But a clear journey, you cannot have excuses. You have to
Yeah,
you have to turn that into something that like I'm going to get this done and make it
yeah,
happen.
yeah. One of the attitudes that we refer to when we talk about is the attitude of discipline. And
Ah,
discipline is the one that really puts you on notice that there's no one going to force you to do it. You have to be disciplined. You have to be without supervision. And procrastination is not an option. You've got to be motivated to be able to see it through to the end. There is no excuses for not attempting and completing it. And the wonderful thing that we realize in being disciplined is that failure is not an option. See,
mm,
failure only occurs when you quit. Discipline allows you
one
to
more
be
time.
dis
Failure only
failure is
occurs
something
when you what?
occurs when you quit. When the game is over, that is the defining measurement of quitting or of failure or losing. But when we
Mm-hmm.
are not developed or we're not monitored or controlled about that when it gets done, how it gets done, is that all we have to do is continue, just to continue, and eventually you will get to where it is. Because here's the thing that is so important: the destination is something that you and I are striving for. It's a goal that we have, but our
Mm-hmm.
journey is where we live day by day in. And so when we're able to understand that the journey is well more important than the outcome, than the end result, is the journey. When we understand that the value is in the journey and not the income or not the outcome, man, the discipline is when we do it day to day to day to day. Guess what? The end result will occur and you won't even recognize it. It will
Mm.
happen and you don't even realize it happened because you're so focused on the day to day.
Focus
It will
on the
just
day to
over it'll
day.
over it'll just overcome you. You just be like, oh man, is that what that was one of my goals? And this now is behind me because I've already got there because I focused on the day to day, and the goal was just a byproduct of my day to day.
And it's so funny you said that because, you know, I was reading, looking at something, which was another coach, and I just so happened to see it. And she was explaining, because we tend to have this, what I'm going to do each day and stuff like that. And it's nothing wrong with, as you shared it, preparing. It's nothing wrong with preparing for your day, but you just said it. Allowing each day to be the day for of itself is more important than, oh, I didn't do this, got to do it tomorrow. Then you feel, then there's a struggle, because if you don't do it tomorrow, then you got, oh my God, I didn't complete that, but like you said, prioritize and focus on what you need to get done on that day, and don't be so tied up in, oh, I have a list and this all has to get done today. Things happen, and most likely it's not going to all get done in a day. And that's how that works. So I just thought about that when you were sharing, because I was like, what you mean don't make a list? And then I started to really understand what you meant, because like what happened on, like I tell you what happened on Saturday. I had things I had prepared from, actually from Saturday to Sunday. No, from Friday to Saturday, and I had things prepared. And I just could not do what was prepared, because I had to focus on what needed to get done to make sure that it didn't get worse and all of those things. And I'm like, I can't. I mean, I was kind of like, oh my God. No, no, no. And then I had to explain, why I didn't do certain things, because I just couldn't, control it. There was
Mhm.
nothing for me to control. And anybody knows, when you have a house, there's so many things that could pop up without.
Yes.
There's so many things, but yeah. I don't know what last words you would have to share with the people as we conclude. And I thank you again for joining me. Thank you for those that are gonna come on the Roku, on the BAC Media Network. Thank you. Don't forget to connect. It is free to click on the App Store and things of that sort. And you can see, you'll soon be able to see this actually live on the other platforms. And we appreciate those of you that take time to come and just connect with us. Please connect with Juan Lee as we close out. He's going to give whatever parting words or a few words that he would like to share, and then we're going to end it this episode. And again, I think this was just a great episode that's needed for all of us to keep going, for all of us to keep winning, for all of us to keep proceeding in the next, so that's what it's about. So Juan, I leave it on you right now to share your final thoughts, and then we're gonna
Well,
close out.
all right. Well, here's the thing. I am. We also, Clear Journey has a podcast. It's a live podcast that we do on Wednesday nights, and it's in 15 minutes. So I would just challenge or offer all of you the opportunity to go to clearjourney.org, our YouTube channel, and see us over there. We have, it's called It's Life Live. It's every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I have a co-host. We're there and we talk about life, everything in life about life. We have 8 areas. Go over to our website, which is clearjourney.org. And we have plenty of things over there that we can help you navigate life more successfully. And also look back and see if my book, Love Made Simple, it's on Amazon. It's also on Audible. And we would really appreciate any of your support. Any of those things that you participate by purchasing will go to helping Clear Journey continue its mission. So we appreciate it. And thank you, KC, for having me on tonight. but we're going to be running out just very quickly so we can get to our podcast. So we
I
thank you very
know,
much.
and I'm excited because I'm going to try to chime in and see what's going on with your podcast. But we are grateful and thank you again for everyone that has connected and joined the victory moment with CK and my guest Juan Lee. So again, it's all about having a clear journey, and that's winning is you can be have a victory moment every day as you have a clear journey into your next level. So see you on the next episode of the victory moment with CK.